we are live. I think. Yes. Checking. Stream status looks good. Analytics, cool. So yeah, we're live. This is the fourth brew that we're doing with these beans right over here. So it's been a interesting journey so far. Hey Gary, nice to see you on the live stream. It's awesome. Welcome. I know you caught the stream like 2 streams ago or something, but chat was acting up a bit. But yeah, nice to see you. Nice to see you. I'm talking to this dashboard over here with chat. Anyways, welcome. We're brewing again with these beans over here. It's our 4th brew, and just thinking about our journey so far coming up to this point, our cup yesterday was over extracted. I initially thought that it would be pretty nice and balanced, but it was lacking a lot of those qualities that I wanted, so we have to now dial back on that recipe and extract less. So today's recipe will be a 1:17 ratio, coffee 15 grams, water 255 grams, water temperature boiling or 100 degrees Celsius, grind size 29. So we changed it from a 1:18 ratio down to 1:17, and that means that we went from a 277 gram water dose to 255 grams. And yeah, I'm kind of confident that this cup will be good. So let's start brewing and see what's up. So moving it down to the brew cam, like so. We'll measure out our beans. One thing I've realized doing it at this specific time of day is that the sun is perfectly shining on the LCD screen over here. So I have to hide it or give it some shade to see the numbers properly. Grams of beans. Give that a grind. So these are 15 grams of coffee ground to 29 on my grinder. Smells delish. Okay, so we got our Kalita Wave. Let me get a cup to brew in and our boiling water. So it's a bit finer, so it's around 700 to 900 microns, which is the grind setting over here. So showing it on this guy, it's around here to here. Yet again, the majority of grinds are in that range, but there's obviously some fines and some coarse grinds that are outside of that range. Nice. Yeah, the brewer is pretty cool. To be honest, the Brewer, when I was first using it, I didn't think it was that amazing, but it just gave me a better perspective of what grind size is and how I should be looking at it. So even though it's not the best tool to like accurately say what grind size is, it just gives you a good perspective and understanding of the grind size that you're using. Because grind size is not a specific number, it's more of a range and where those grinds land in that range. Yeah, it's not, yet again, David. So David is asking, is it easy to judge micron level with that? It's not perfect, and that is the thing, because grind size is yet again a spectrum. So you will get a good ballpark range of where your grinds are, but you won't get like the specific distribution of what your grinds are. So I would say it's a good training tool, and it's a good tool that gives you a approximate estimation of your grinds, but it's not perfect. With your eyesight getting worse these days, maybe it's not the best tool for you. Maybe you gotta go by like feel, like braille. Okay, moving back to the brew cam. We got our Kalita Wave, we got our filter, like so. Toss it in there. Preheat. Yeah, that's another thing. These holes over here are really rad for roasting because, like what Gary is mentioning right now, it allows you to judge the size of the green beans, which also reflects the quality of the beans. So like the sizing over here is really cool. And which is these holes that are here to pass a bean through. Like so. Toss in our grinds. 15 grams. Nice. Tare. Bring it over to the timer. Okay, good. Got my handy dandy stir stick ready. Make a small hole and let's start pouring. So before I pour, just mentally preparing myself, I need to pour up to 255 grams and I'm doing a 50 gram bloom. Start the pour. That is 50 grams of water. Stir stick to saturate all of the grinds. Continue the pour at 30 seconds, which is now. And pour all the way up to 255 grams of water. So later on today, I'm actually going on a SUP board, stand-up paddle board with some of my friends, which is going to be a lot of fun. And I'm also climbing before that, so I'm getting all of my social activities in, which is great. And I just realized I was pouring way beyond what I should be. So I actually poured 270. There. 258. Let's just quickly do that. Nice. That works. So we're at 255 grams now. Perfect. I didn't get to swirl it, which is sad, but hopefully we'll see what happens. Should be good. Yeah, those sup boards are like super compact and like easy to fit in a car and very like accessible for a lot of people instead of like a solid canoe or like a boat. So if someone wants to get into water sports and do that, then that's amazing. Oh no, like I'm having a great time doing this. You guys aren't a distraction. You guys are part of the show. But no, we got it to 255 grams, no biggie. I scooped it out pretty quickly when I noticed it. And yeah, there we go. Nice and flat bed. Let's see, let's try to bring this a bit closer. I can notice actually that since I didn't swirl it like last time, there are way more grinds that are higher up on the filter compared to, let's see. Like in the mid area, there's like way more grinds that are higher up because I didn't do the swirl. So that will probably impact the extraction a bit, but it shouldn't be like detrimental for the brew. Like so. Give that a stir, and then we wait a bit. So hopefully this cup is delicious because next week we are moving on to another bag for that segment for those 5 days. We'll be using this darker roast right over here, which I'm gonna do with the osmotic flow technique. So initially, yet again, I thought that I would be doing the French press with these beans, but after doing my video on the Hario V60 guide and also doing this brewing time pour over video that I'm doing right now, I really wanted to practice my osmotic flow technique, and I think that having these dark roast beans was a great time to do it, so that'll be fun. Yeah, like the grind slightly creeping up is for sure an issue with the wave filters just because of the way it's angled and constructed. But I've realized that if I do the swirl right after, it does like bring most of the grinds down, which is good. Like you'll still have a slight like concave vibe to it, but it won't be like fully up high and dry grinds. But yeah, I think it is something that is a part of the wave filters that is just its construction. But let's give this a sippy sip in a minute or so because I don't want to burn my taste buds. Were you able to brew your coffee with the 1:17 ratio, Gary? I know that you were mentioning that in the previous video in the comment section that you were going to do that today, so did you get to taste it? Oh, that's interesting. So Gary mentions that with the fellow dripper, which also uses a similar wave filter, they recommend shaking it instead of swirling. So maybe I'll try that next time with the Kalita Wave. So instead of swirling the brew at the end of the pour, it's more like a up and down shake perhaps to get the water to like sweep down the sides of the filter, because just looking at this again, there is grinds that are like up on the side over here. That is not ideal, and I can also see it lower in the filter. Oh, I'm not showing it that well over here. So yeah, the midway point, there's just a lot of grinds there. That is not a part of the extraction. It's more of a wiggle from side to side. I'll have to look it up. So, let's see. Fellow dripper, wiggle / shake. Well, at least you're trying out some different things and seeing what's up. Okay, time to taste this cup of coffee. So this is not over extracted. It has more juiciness than the other brews that I've had. It's probably not as good as the 1:18 that I had 2 days ago, but it has different qualities going on here. So I probably preferred the 1:18 ratio one over this one, but this one is a bit more on the bodily juicy side compared to the other one, which was a bit more silky and smooth. Yeah, and I can feel that viscousness that comes from the brewing ratio. So it's slightly thicker in its texture. So if I would compare the other one, which was like a tea-like silkiness, this one's maybe like a 1 to 2% milk kind of texture going on, just a bit more viscous. And the astringency that I was getting with yesterday's brew is not here. So we've used the brewing ratio to remove that over extractedness, and we've extracted less, which is great. And it's probably up there as one of the best cups, but I still do like the silkiness that I had with the 1:18 ratio cup that I brewed 2 days ago. Maybe over time, as the liquid cools down, it will open up a bit and be a bit more interesting, because as I was drinking yesterday's cup for a bit longer, I realized that it did become a bit more pleasant as time went by. So usually when the coffee cools down, more of its characteristics start shining through, whether it be good or bad characteristics. And yesterday's cup, even though it was a bit over extracted, it wasn't so over extracted that it totally blew the cup away, but it was still a pretty decent cup in my opinion. So what am I gonna do from here? I think that this cup and the cup 2 days ago with the 1:18 ratio. Yeah, so the 1:18 ratio cup on the 15th was really good, and this one was really good. Both of them have two different characteristics that they're emphasizing on. So this one's a bit more focused on the mouthfeel and thickness, while the 1:18 ratio 2 days ago is more focused on the silkiness and interesting tasting notes. And I think I like that a bit more. So I'll probably revert back to that one and tweak something else to hopefully get it a bit closer. So I'll probably do let's see. Maybe this is a time to play around with some other variables, because I've been just playing around with grind size here and brewing ratio. So maybe playing around with water temperature just a bit to see what happens. So normally a lot of people recommend to use boiling water with light roasts, but I've had a lot of success with lower brewing temperatures with both light roast and dark roast beans. So I'm gonna try that out in the next brew. So instead of brewing with a 1:17 ratio, I'm gonna go back to the 1:18 recipe, and I'm gonna change it by tweaking the water temperature. So let me show you what I mean. So we're gonna revert back to our 1:18 ratio, like so. And that means that this becomes 270 grams again. But since we know that this cup over here was a bit over extracted, we're gonna change our water temperature to, let's say, 95 degrees Celsius. And hopefully that will produce a really good cup over here. So I feel like we're really close to an amazing cup, but the cups that we've been having are like within the ballpark pretty good. So we're getting really close to like a really delicious cup of coffee here. But we're still just scoring like 2-pointers, you know, within the basketball court, but we still haven't hit that 3-pointer shot just yet. But yeah, another delicious cup of coffee that I'll enjoy this nice and sunny day. And like I said, I'm heading off to climb later and also go on a sup board, and I'll get all of my social interactions from those for sure. But I hope that you have a great day too. And I love a pop and chat, so if you guys have any questions, you've already asked them probably, but as always, feel free to post comments down below and I'll hopefully get to it. I'll soon have a brew time video up, probably by the end of today or tomorrow. And next week, I'm gonna start streaming at 10 a.m. instead of 1 p.m. And that's because of the analytics saying that it's the quote-unquote best time where most of you peeps are online, and we'll see what happens. Maybe there'll be way more peeps on this live stream, which is the goal, but yeah, well, it's all a big experiment. Cool. So I'll see all of you maybe on Monday. Take care, have a good weekend, and enjoy your coffee.